Hello once again, welcome back to Obey Now. This is the Captain. Hope everybody's having a happy Wednesday. Oh, lost track of the day of the week for a moment there. As I mentioned in my last video, which was on Overgrowth, a wonderful game that's currently in alpha status by Wolfire Games, I recommend you check out that previous video if you haven't already. If you have, I did mention that game, or the Overgrowth, the pre-order actually comes with a bonus of the game Receiver. Normally this is a $5 game on a pre-order, but basically, like I said, it does come free with the pre-order, so if you check that out, you'll be getting actually both of these games as part of the package. Receiver is a sort of kind of randomized sandbox first-person shooter kind of experience. The main gimmick here, and I'll show you that in a moment, is that you actually have, as you can see, this is a list of the controls that are applicable to my current situation. Basically, you are in charge of not just pressing R to reload your weapon, for example. Depending on the gun you get, and it looks like I have, this is like a 1911 at the moment, but basically you are in charge of every single action that would normally take to essentially make that gun work. So I'll show you that in just a second, but a big part of it as well is that the levels are semi-randomized. From my understanding, it's a set of rooms that are already preset, but every time you play it will actually randomize that, and there are little just the way they're connected, and there are little cassettes you find around that give little audio snippets, little bits of story, and those are actually randomized every time you play as well. So it's something here that's designed just kind of play in short bursts. It is very difficult because of the fact that there is so much to actually using these guns. But to get to that here, I'll move around in just a little bit. I want to make sure there's no drones. Oh, as you can see, I had to pull my hammer back to start firing here. Alright, so now that guy's out of the way. Okay, so basically, as you can see here, I failed earlier because of the fact that hammer on the back of the gun was not pulled back, and that's something that's actually required to normally fire this gun. So what you do here is, let me go ahead, empty out my clip, and basically you have to pull out the clip manually. You have to pull this back, and then see, as you can see in the top left-hand corner, my bullets. You have to manually insert the bullets. Draw your weapon out again. Nope, dropped it on accident, pressed the wrong button. And then insert the magazine back into the gun. At that point here, you have to release the slide lock and pull back the hammer, and you're good to go. So as you can see here, it's kind of context sensitive. It's useful to have the instructions on the right hand side. I've seen 3 guns myself. There might be a little bit more variety to it as well. I'm not 100% positive on that. But basically, it'll tell you exactly what you need to fire your gun. So as you can see, if I put the gun down, which is the Q button, it tells me I have to aim my weapon by either holding the right click, kind of standard first-person shooter controls, or if I tap Q, it keeps it up in front of my screen to kind of keep it up in action a little bit more. And as you can see in the bottom left, that's our inventory. That shows I currently have a full magazine. Sometimes when you start out with just 3 bullets. Sometimes you start out with a couple magazines extra. Sometimes you start with a flashlight. It varies completely based on just kind of what's randomly generated for you. So to get started here, I'm going to go ahead and play through a level or 2. As you can see, when you're going through, crouch to be a little sneakier, there are these automated turrets are your main enemies here. And it takes just 1 or 2, I think maybe 3 is the most I've actually gotten hit by before you're actually dead. So you take out the turret. Oh, I don't think I needed to press R there. And as you can see, it automatically aims out. And then as I come around, as you can see, here's one of the flying ones again. And those are equipped with a taser, whereas these actually have full bullets, but the taser will take you out. Now, the cool thing about these robots, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. But as you can see, they actually have different parts. You have the tripod on these, for example, you have the gun mechanism. I think this is the sensing mechanism, and you have the motor here. These are actually sensitive hitboxes, so if you hit just, for example, the sensor, if you still walk in front of it, it can still shoot you. If you shoot just the gun, it will still track you, but it will not find you. And if you hit certain parts of it, it will deactivate the entire turret. Same thing with these. This is a taser bit. I think, yeah, as you can see, here's a fan that actually helps it float. You can actually shoot these fans out, and they will still register you're there, so the lights still light up when you walk by it, and it will still try to tase you. That thing will flash like crazy when you get near it. So it's actually something that is a little bit more in depth. You can kind of shoot out particular parts of things as part of that. Now, as you can see, when I go to reload, it's not a simple process. I have to take out the magazine. And then as you can see, I have to put my gun to the side so I can reload. I press Z to the side, and as you can see, it lights up as you're kind of going along. Draw the weapon back out, and then reinsert the magazine. And I actually have a second magazine that I can insert instead to kind of make things a little bit quicker. But as you can see, just kind of work your way through these levels here. Let's see what we got. Oh, actually, this was a pretty good vantage point. See if I can take out just a part of it. Oh, see, it's kind of lopsided. I believe I knocked out its gun here, so if I walk up to it, watch it prove me wrong. Yep, see, as you can see, it will still track me and it still registers me, but because I actually shot out the gun portion of it, it is completely deactivated for all intents and purposes. And there we go, that did the final little bit there. Let me reload real quick. Oh, I'm actually out of bullets on this clip. Let me see. Let's see, reinsert. It's a lot to handle, especially considering the weapons. See, there we go. So I'm out of ammo on that clip. So I think, okay, equip magazine and insert. So now I've got my second full magazine. Hit T to release the Slylock, and we are back in business. So as you can see, though, I'm out of ammo. You can actually pick up drops throughout the game. Let's see if I can find any. I haven't hit any audio clips yet. And another nice feature here is something I haven't actually gotten to utilize yet. I picked up a bullet. I haven't actually got to utilize it yet, but the way that you run isn't just simply like holding shift like in most games. It's actually tap based. So the faster you tap, the faster you run, and you just tap your forward movement W. So if I just tap it slowly, I just kind of get this going. If I tap it really fast, it goes faster. I'm normally not a fan of that kind of movement, just tapping something repeatedly in games, but yeah, and see, as you can see, it just takes a couple bullets to really take you out. As I was saying, it works really well because it has good suspense to the game. With everything being so manual as it is, it's really good to like panically, tap that button as fast as you can to run away from something here. As you can see now, I have a flashlight. I don't think I have any. Oh, I have a little bit of extra ammo, and I have a revolver. So as you can see, you can do things like spin the mouse wheel to move the revolver. You can equip and put away the flashlight. And then see, as you can see, I can open that up, press C to insert the bullets, and close it back up. And then when I need to reload, it's V. We'll pull that out. I can actually repick everything up with G, and then I close that up. So, oh, got dropped right off the bat.
Your minds have been spied on. The rules of our world don't apply to yours, and so the threat have made a careful study of listening to your thoughts. The kill drones are the result of this research. When confronting a kill drone, be mindful of their weak points. The main systems that can be damaged are the camera, weapon, motor, and batteries. On a kill drone turret, the batteries and motor are in the body of the weapon. The motor is directly under the turret, and the batteries behind that in the rear of the body enclosure. Targeting specific weak points will make sure.
Well, I interrupted the sound clip there, but it's just little bits. I actually haven't heard that one before. That's a little bit of a tutorial sounding one. Typically, there's something more story related. But basically, that's kind of how it goes. You go around picking us up. Those sound clips are randomized. I mean, they're obviously pre-recorded, but they are randomized every time you play, so it gives you kind of a different little bits of story here in different order. As you can see, this time I started out with something more, I guess, a Glock. Forgive me if I've got this wrong. I'm not huge into guns outside of video games, but this has completely different mechanisms as well, so we actually got to go through all three of the weapons. As you can see, I start out with more ammunition this time and the flashlight. That varies entirely based on just kind of randomization. So here we go. As you can see on the side, nothing's highlighted, so it means I should be good to fire. Yep, in fact I am. And if there's anything that's required to fire, for example, if I pull out my magazine, it will tell me how to insert my ammunition, and it will tell me kind of what's needed to get into a fire-ready state here, and that's kind of that helpful side. You can, of course, just play without those kind of details. It is extremely difficult. I would not recommend it, but it does add a lot more tension trying to remember all those things kind of as you're going along. Didn't mean to drop that. Man, I am just doing all kinds of things, and a turret found me, and what the hell am I supposed to do to get this back in? Here we go. Okay, we are good to go. As you can see, to start, I have to pull back slide. Oh, wrong button. There we go, and then I'm good to go. And also, it works exactly how the gun would normally work in real life. So I mean, if you pull back the slide, you're going to be tossing live ammunition if it's not the appropriate time to do that kind of thing. So it is very kind of flexible, and with it being so randomized every time you play, it does kind of add in some strategy. I thought I could fire a little quicker than that. It does add in some strategy to that as well. So like I said, you know, I might play a little bit more of this in the future. It is really fun to go through these random levels. You know, everything's kind of fresh every time you play. Like I said, here's that. I believe it's in 1911 again. And again, you have to pull back the hammer to start, otherwise I won't fire. Oh, in this case, I actually have its safety on. Well, that's neat. So I actually have to turn off the safety in order to go into a fireable mode here. So yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a ton of fun. You can pick this up if you like from the Fire directly. It actually has its own pre-order. Oh, see that? Look at that. I started with a magazine with only one bullet. And as you can see, there's no bullet counter, so in order to check that, you actually have to... Oh, stuck on the map a little bit here. But you actually have to check the magazine itself. As you can see, when you pull it out, you can kind of get a gauge for what kind of bullets are in there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's completely randomized. If you pre-order Overgrowth, which I highly recommend you do, it does come with that as well. And if you want to pre-order just this itself, it is $4.99 on the website. I'll include that in the description as well. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Please do like us on Facebook and Twitter. Links will be in the description. And be sure to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Again, as I said before, I like to be really transparent. That helps us show up higher in search results, recommended videos, that sort of thing. So please do leave a comment if you'd like. And as you can see in the description, there is a number. Please give us a call. Give us comments on what you thought of the video, recommendations for future videos, things to talk about in the Friday show, which is a news show. Anything you want. Sing me a song. If it's something that's worth actually hearing, something that I enjoyed, I will include it in the Friday show as a soundbite. Be sure to leave a username or anything like that here if you do give us a call. And again, that's 2OBEY-NOME, and that'll be in the description as well. Apart from that, thank you so much for joining me today, and you have a happy Wednesday.